Cement step repair. Whew, after a long winter, a lot of us have to do this. Hi there, I'm Jeff with Home Repair Tutor, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a ton of different tips on how to get your crumbling and decaying cement step looking a lot better. And it'll be fixed in probably less than a day. So let's get started. I want to show you how I did it at one of my rental properties and how you can do this too. This step is in terrible shape. Check it out. It's crumbling and it's unsafe. So the first step that you need to take is to undercut all the edges using a cold chisel and a hammer. Undercutting will help the new concrete properly bond to the old concrete. Another step you can do is take a hammer drill and with a Tapcon drill, but drill some holes strategically into the old concrete step. And then you'll place these blue Tapcon screws into those holes, either using a hammer drill or an impact driver. I like the Tapcon screws to be about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch below the new concrete. You'll have to estimate where that is, but just know that these Tapcon screws will help anchor the new to the old. The other thing you want to do is properly dust off the step because your concrete won't bond properly. So dust it or use a shop vac to remove all the dust. You'll then apply concrete bonding adhesive to the step using a paintbrush and just a cup. Now I'm applying it liberally all over the step so that the new concrete will properly bond to the old concrete. And I'm using bonding adhesive because I need more than 1/2 inch of new cement, and I'm following the directions on the bonding adhesive bottle. It takes a little while for this adhesive to dry, so you're going to have to wait 2 to 3 hours. For this project, I'm going to be using Quikrete quick setting cement. Whew, that's a mouthful. And it sets up in about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, I'm holding Pam in my hand because I'm going to be using it not to cook, but to spray it onto the form. And in this case, I'm just using a plywood form. So I'm spraying the Pam on so that the cement won't stick to it. Now, you can turn the form around and place it flush up against the old step. Take some cinder blocks or something heavy and push it up against the form so that the form is sitting plumb, which is just straight up and down. So with your form in place, you can get all of your cement supplies ready to go. Oh, before you do that though, make sure you use a respirator. Inhaling cement is just bad for you, so don't do it. So here are all the supplies that I'm using. I've got my tub, my plastic tub, my trowels, my water. And what I did is I estimated that I needed about 3 to 4 bags of the quick setting cement. And I placed the bags right next to the tub, and then I pour the cement into the center. And then after that, you want to create a crater for the water. So pour the water in according to the directions, and then you'll want to mix it up so that the consistency is smooth and just heavy enough that it will barely slide off a trowel and that it's still moldable. Use your margin trowel to scoop up the cement from the tub and push it down into the recess created by the wood form and your old step. So what you want to do is push down, put a lot of downward pressure on that cement, and that way it will form, and you can expect that you're going to have to use a steel trowel like I'm doing here to smooth out the edges between the old cement and the new cement. So I just scraped along the surface at a 45-degree angle, then checked for any low spots or high spots using a 24-inch level. The low spots you can fill in with the cement, and the high spots should be scraped off. So just do that and you'll have a nice level surface to work with. Now, if you do find any low spots, fill it in using more cement in the margin trowel. Make sure you work quickly, especially if you're using the quick setting cement. Now, you can remove or pull the cinder blocks out of the way and scrape along the edge of the wood form and the new step. pull the form out, and you'll see that you have a really nice plumb surface, a nice straight up and down surface, but there'll be voids too that you need to fill in using the margin trowel and your steel trowel. It's as simple as taking extra cement and pushing it into those voids and smoothing it out. Now in this case, I used my steel trowel to scrape along the vertical surface. You can also use your level to make sure that the surface is plumb or straight up and down. Don't forget to scrape off any of the new cement off of the old cement, because you'll be left with a mess if you don't do this. You can also round the edge of your new step using an edging tool like I'm doing here. Just do it steadily and smoothly across the surface of that step. It really creates a nice rounded surface. One of the final steps is to smooth out the new cement using a moist sponge. In this case, I had an old grout sponge hanging around, so I just used that. They're not very expensive, they're $3, and it really adds a nice effect to the new cement. And then you should spray down and keep the new cement moist for at least 48 hours or according to the directions. And in my case, I also added plastic to the step to retain that moisture level in the new surface. And always remember to seal your cement when you're done with your project. This is super important. Well, there you have it. That's how you fix a crumbling or broken cement step. Not too bad, right? So if you have your own suggestions, so please add those to the comment section. I don't have all the answers. I'm sure I might have missed something. And the purpose of this video is to help you learn, and maybe you can help somebody else in the process too. All right, well, remember, you can always click the subscribe button over on YouTube to see all my videos, and you can go to homerepairtutor.com and sign up for the email newsletter that comes out every single Friday, along with a new video tutorial. Until the next video, have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and take care.